Welcome to Denver's Good News Ministry. Today I have Danielle. She's going to tell us her story today. Before we do that, let's get into a little prayer. Dear Lord, thank you for an awesome day today. We finally got some snow. Thank you for that. Been needing it.
Mm-hmm.
A little late, but it's better than never.
Right.
Um, I want to say thank you for this blessing and the opportunity for everything that is going on with these interviews, and keep this ministry going with the podcast. And thank you for another day. Amen.
Amen.
All right. So let's go ahead and talk about your story. What made you want to come in and start getting sober? Like, how long were you getting high, and then what made you want to?
So, I was getting high for about 6 years. Um, I was on some pretty hard stuff. I was on fentanyl and meth for about 6 years. Honestly, in the time I was getting sober, I cried for my kids every night. I kept telling myself I wanted to get sober, but I never did. Um, and as many times as I ended up in jail, I would call them and tell them I'm sorry, and then I would get right back out, and I would start getting high again. So it just was an ongoing thing. But up until 6 years, I think was the last time I was in jail. I think up until I got hemmed up, got pulled over, and got taken into jail, I was kind of done. I was tired of trying to find a place to stay. I was living in my car. I was cold at night. I was just tired of it. So when I got out, my probation officer and my son both told me, like, this is your last chance. Like, if you don't get into somewhere now, you're gonna do. I was looking at 16 years. So she was like, you're gonna do the 16. She was like,
So that addictive personality was just hard to kick, right?
yes.
And so until were about to get your butt kicked
Yeah.
with something serious,
Mhm.
then your family, the law was telling you that this is it.
Yeah. And my son told me, "Mom, if you don't get anywhere," he's like, "I'm done with you. I'm washing my hands. I'm just going to pretend like you're just like my dad that's never been there. And that's how I'm going to treat you." And that hurt
Yeah.
because I have been there for my kids since day one. I raised them. I was the mother and their father. And so when he told me that, that was when I woke up and I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this. So I got out. Even though I got out, I still got high for 3 days. And finally, when my son told me that after the third day, that's when I snapped out of it. And I went into Hazelbrook, went into TSZ, and have been sober for 2 years now.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, have you been to any other facilities besides Hazelbrook, or just
No,
straight Hazelbrook?
this was straight Hazelbrook. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The probation officer was going to send me to, um, it was a 2 year facility to where I couldn't leave. I couldn't get out. I couldn't do anything. Like it was, I couldn't even talk to my family for 2 years. She's like, if you don't go
Wow.
into somewhere, that's where I'm going to put you. So I was like, okay. So I went into Hazelbrook, and it took me 3 days to get there. I kept manipulating the person I was with. I kept, they told me they closed at 6, so I would purposely wait till like 5:30 because I knew how long it took from where we lived to Aurora. So every time we got here, they were closed. So I was like, oh, I guess another day. So I kept doing it and doing it. Finally, he pulled up and he grabbed all my bags and threw me out of the truck in front of this building. And that's when John Featherstone walked out. He's like, we've been waiting for you. And I was like, you have? He's like, yeah. He goes, we have. And I was like, okay. So he took me to the house, and I've been here since. I wanted to leave several times, but I ended up pushing through, and I ended up staying. I've seen a lot of people in my addiction die in front of me. I've seen a lot of people just drop and, bring them back to life. And seeing all of it, I still I still didn't change.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it still made me go even harder, in drugs. And it's crazy to think about it now. It's like, and all the things I did, breaking into cars, doing all these terrible things to people, like who I am now, I wouldn't dare to do it. You know what I mean? Like, it scares me to think of who I was in that dark world from who I am now. It's like night and day. It's crazy.
Yeah. So you were just doing like fentanyl, or were you doing the stronger version of fentanyl?
I was doing the pills and the powder, but I was smoking it. I didn't ever shoot
Yeah.
up. I never touched needles. And I thank God for that. But yeah, so I did the powder and I did the pills, and I did meth.
Okay.
So yeah,
So all uppers.
all uppers, well, downers. And so I would smoke the fentanyl, do the downers, and then I would do the uppers to keep me leveled out.
Ah.
So that's just how I got through the day. Because if I just did fentanyl, I'd be sleeping or just dead to the world. So if I did the uppers, it would level me out.
Okay.
That's how I was able to go into the stores and go boost and do all these things just to get the drugs.
Okay. And so you weren't like these typical people that were out on the street dancing when they're all high?
No, so I I don't know. It's kind of weird to say that when if I were to pull in and start smoking or doing anything, like I was so discreet about it. Like I would cover my windows
Uh-huh.
all, like I had like black little pillowcases that would cover all my windows, and then I would get high. Like I
Okay.
couldn't do it and have other people walk and see me. Like
Yeah.
I don't know why. Like I felt like, even, I think that was just, I don't know, like knowing I was high, I felt disgusted with myself knowing I did it, and I didn't want no one else to see that I did it. So I was very discreet. But when I was the motels and stuff, there was a few times where I would stand up and I would smoke, and next you know, I'd wake up and I'm like heading, like going headfirst into the ground,
Oh
like
wow.
I was out, like I didn't even realize I was out, and next you know, I woke up and like I almost hit my head on tables. I almost like almost, it was crazy. And so that was the only time. But in that, like I've never like went to a place and just like was slumped over and like, hey, wake up, and
Yeah.
but I know a few times at my methadone clinic, like if I was up for a week or two, yeah, I'd be nodding off pretty good. I'd be like this, and so I guess I could say I was, but not crazy how some people are out here.
Yeah. I was working for this one place doing deliveries, and this guy in the elevator, it was acting weird. Like at first, it didn't catch on because I was like, he was walking in the elevator with me, and I was
Mhm.
like, "What floor are you going to?" And he was just all quiet. And he's just right there, kind of banging his head on the elevator while we're going up to the floor I had to
Mm.
go. I walk out, he follows me, and I'm just like watching my back, like
Yeah.
because I had cash on me
Oh
because I was
yeah.
doing deliveries,
Mhm.
and so I'm making sure they're not following me trying to
Mhm.
rob me. And no, he gets off the elevator, and then he's like wide awake, punching the wall, and I'm like, what the hell,
Yeah.
like
It's
that's crazy.
Yeah, so I had a friend, we had people that would come to our motel and stuff, and this person, the person I was with, his friend came, and he was like that. Like he he would literally, like, his body was dancing. Like he would be like all the way down to the ground, and then he'd be like this, and then all of a sudden he'd wake up, and then he'd start mumbling and mumbling, and we're just like, are you okay? And he's like, go outside. And then he starts pounding on the door, and like he was completely out of it. But yeah, so I've been around people like that, and I always told myself, I was like, I know I get high, but I don't ever want to be like that. But
Are they at that point when they get high like that? Or are they just? I know it's from the high, but are they at that high where they're like fighting their sleep
I
and they're
think so.
just
Yeah, because he was up for, I think he was going on his third week. Yeah, he
damn?
would never sleep, and we kept telling him, just go to sleep, just go to sleep. But he was so scared that people were gonna rob him, he never wanted to sleep.
Yeah,
So when he came over, he was to the point where he was just oblivious, like, and it's scary because we told him when he finally got sleep. I was like, you're more at a higher risk getting robbed when you're like that than just getting sleep. But he never wanted to sleep, and so I never like he it was honestly scary seeing someone like that because you never know what their decision could be, you know what I mean? Because they're so oblivious to things. You know, if he came back in and thought we were robbing him and, you know, tries to pull his gun out on us or something like that. Like
Yeah.
we've been robbed, like I've been robbed. I've robbed people in my addiction. I've broken into cars, stole people's females' purses, and was going into the stores and getting the gift cards and stuff like that. So I have done my part in robbing people. I have done my part in all that stuff. And just robbing people with guns and all that stuff. And that's why I said, like, with the way I was really dark. I was in a really dark world. I felt like since I didn't have my kids and my mom didn't want me around, my family hated me. Like, I felt like I just wanted to do the most. And I did. I did the most. I was out there. I felt like I was the devil itself because I didn't care. I didn't care if I hurt the people I robbed. I didn't care if the people were crying and begging me not to do it. I didn't care. I still did it. I got what I wanted so we can get drugs and get high.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, at that time, I guess it's like survival of the fittest,
It,
basically.
it is, yeah. And I felt like more towards the end of my addiction, I was more worried about getting sick than actually enjoying the high. Like the first part was enjoying the high, and then as you're on it, it's not even fun anymore. It's you're just in survival mode trying to get high, just trying not to get sick, trying just to have a few pills for the night so you can last until the morning and get going and go boost and go rob more people. And it was an everyday thing.
Okay.
So yeah.
So in your you got to Hazelbrook and then you did the TSZ. So you started from the bottom and then
Hmm.
went all the way up fresh start and everything.
I didn't go to Fresh Start, so I went to TSZ, I went to ACP, and then I went into Sober Living, went into the Colorado House, and then I became house manager. Became a house manager for ACP. I was a house manager for almost a year, and then after that, then I came here and been employed with the community center ever since.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
So when you were in the houses, did you do anything like hobbies, activities to also keep you going, to stay busy instead of getting back into an addiction? You know, with
Uh,
refocusing your mind and stuff.
so when I was in ACP, I think I was just so busy with the groups and all that stuff. Um, I would go out to the events and keep myself busy with Pete. Like we would go to the events, and I was doing that. And when I was at home, I was reading. So I like to read, um, and I like to go to the DOCM and go to the church. And I also like to do the what is it the I don't do it anymore, but the bead paintings, like
Oh, okay.
the little jewel things.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was doing that here and there. I think I only did that when I felt myself like on the edge. That actually kept my mind busy to where after like 20 minutes of me doing our 30 minutes, like I wouldn't be thinking about that anymore. So I really try to do things that made me like not go that path again. Because that when I was in sober living, my mom actually took my kids away from me again. I was seeing my kids every day, every weekend, and then out of nowhere, she just blocked me, and I was hurt. I was like, why? And I called, I was like, why are you blocking me? I called her blocked, and she was like, I just can't forgive you for your past. She goes, we can't forgive you, and I was hurt, and in that moment, I wanted to go get high again. Like in that moment, I was like, then why am I doing this?
Yeah.
But when I went to go get high and I came back to but I found myself back at the house and I'm like, wait a minute. I'm doing this for me. Yes, I'm doing it to find my way back to my kids, but I'm doing this for me. I came here to get better for myself, to be selfish. I was like, I love my kids. I was like, but the trust will come. You know, if my mom doesn't want to talk to me, fine. I'm just going to continue being in Hazelbrook, and then I'm going to continue. Eventually, she'll let me see my kids.
Building up that trust
Yeah.
again.
So, and it did. So it took like about a couple months, and then she started talking to me again. And now I'm living with her and my kids.
That's good.
Yeah. So now it was rough. It everything was rough. Like, cause I just when I first got home, like I still felt like they were hurt with me, and I felt it. But I had to be the bigger person, and I talked to all of them. You know, I brought them all in a group, and I told them, I was like, listen, I was like, I know I messed up. I know you guys don't want to hear my sorries. You guys heard it for 6 years straight. But I'm going to prove to you, and I'm going to show you, and you're going to watch me succeed. And I can be your mom, that mom that I used to be. And that's what they told me. They just said, we want our mom back. Our mom that raised us, that took care of us, that would do anything for us. We want her back. So it hurt me, and we all cried. But now it's like, you know, that trust, you know, we all built together again. So now we're back to, you know, being a family. You know, I spent my first Christmas with them. That was my first Christmas being sober out of the whole few years, because I didn't see him when I was in sober living, because she wasn't really talking to me. So this was the first Christmas that I was able to be there.
What a great feeling, I bet,
It
right?
was an amazing feeling. I was able to get them gifts. I was able to see their smiles on their faces. It was amazing. It was amazing. So I can't be blessed. I can't, you know, I can't be any more blessed than what I am now, you know?
Yeah. So the diamond art, I've seen a lot of people doing that myself.
Yeah.
So
yeah. It's very relaxing.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, not just in addiction, because my mom does a whole bunch of them.
Oh, yeah?
She got this thing with Johnny Depp, so she's got like Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, really? Like oh, that's cool.
She did some drink trays, like the what do they call them? The whole little holsters that you put your.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So she did that, and you know, she did some for the grandkids, my nephew and nieces, and stuff like that, my kids. So that was pretty cool. She really got into all of that. She was the first one I ever seen doing it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it was just she was bored and wanted to pass some time, so she heard about it and she started doing it herself.
Yeah, it does. It passes time. Let me tell you. Like next, you know, like you already have like half the sheet filled, and you're like, oh man, how long have I been sitting here? So it's pretty cool. I liked it. When I was doing it, it really kept me busy. So I always liked going towards it just to do it. If I didn't have nothing to do, if I wasn't working, if I was home and I was bored, I would pull it out. Yeah. And do it. So.
And so you also read books. You said, are you still reading books, or are you just a little busy to keep up on?
I like to read books at night before I go to sleep. That's the only thing that can calm me down to like before I go to sleep. I like to read like the what is it, like the FBI books, like them finding like the killers and all that stuff.
Crime solving,
yeah. So I read like the crime solving books and all that. So I have a set of books now. I'm on the third book. It's called The Hangman.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's a really good book.
Nice.
Yeah, so I've been reading that. I get stuck on it. Sometimes I have to force myself to stop because I'll be reading till like 2 a.m. So sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't. But I like to read though. I like to read at night.
Yeah, I only read books whenever I was in jail.
Yeah.
To help pass the time.
Same. Yeah.
I read the TV Guide channel and I read subtitles.
Yeah. My mom likes to read like she watches the Korean stuff. Yeah. She loves the Korean movies.
That's funny. My mom does too.
Does she?
Yeah, she does. So, yeah. So sometimes I'll hang out with my mom and we'll watch them together.
Yeah, I do too. I watch them with her too because she's always like, "Have you seen this? This is so good." So.
That's so funny because my mom does the same
thing. Does she? Yeah, so I'll sit with her and I'll be like, no, I haven't. And next you know, I'm stuck in it. I'm into it. Yeah. And I'm like, in its seasons. So I'll find myself watching all the seasons with her. She goes.
Well, see, and that's good because it's also another way to build up that lost time with their mom to build that bond again and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, and that's like if I just shut her out and was like, oh yeah, I haven't seen it, but walked away, but I was like, no, I haven't. You can tell she was kind of like, watch it with me, so I would sit there and I would watch it with her. But yeah, it's
Right.
always like, have you seen this? I haven't. And so I'm like, no, I haven't. And so I think that's like her entrance and be like, come watch it with me. So I'll sit and I'll watch it with her and stuff. So
And
yeah,
so,
it's for
did you build a lot of friendships while you were here?
I did. I built a lot of friendships. Especially when I was with as a houseman. Well, being in sober living, I had a lot of friends, but I had like very few friends, but I also stayed out of all the drama. So I only talked to certain people that were not involved in the drama, but I kept myself really away from that because I just felt like it would trigger me a lot, like getting into all that drama and the chaos with the girls and stuff. So
Yeah.
I found myself always like kind of pulling back from it. But then when I became a house manager is when it really changed. Like I really had a lot of relationships with the clients. Like I built a lot of trust and a lot of um, ability to show them how to be strong.
Okay.
So that was the main when I had that job, that was the main job that I actually really cared for. Because it just when you had a client that kind of like me, kind of just like hesitant to do everything, kind of like why am I here, do I need to be here, this and that, and I had the ability to pull them into my room and talk to them and show them and being like, you know what, this is what I did, this is where I ended up, and just telling them my story, when they actually hear that their own house manager was part of that life, they actually, I seen them change, like I
Yeah.
seen them coming in, you know, being a kind of a ruckus to graduating and being a whole different person. And to me, it just like it was a blessing because it's like, you know, you change people's lives. You were able to hold their hand and show them a new path.
Yeah.
So that was, I think I gained more relationships as a house manager. Sober living, I still talk to a few people. I talked to my housing supervisor. I talked to one of the girls that have been there now as a peer coach, and she just had a baby. So Savannah, so Savannah and Trevor, and so yeah, I still talk to a few people. I don't like go and hang out with anybody because I'm so stuck with my kids and just wanting to be with them right now. Like I kind of just I work and then go be with my kids.
Yeah.
So
Because you lost that a lot of
yeah,
that time.
yeah.
Yeah. And understandable, completely understandable. And so, um, leading by example as a house manager, them knowing that you were also in addiction, it's also leading by example.
Mhm.
Like if I can do it, you can do it type of thing.
Mhm. Yeah. But I wouldn't pressure them. Like I wouldn't pressure them. I even though and I tell them that too, like even though I was able to walk this being my first recovery, not everyone, you know, was able to, come to one recovery and do it. Some had to do multiple recoveries, you know what I mean? So I would tell them, like, even though this was my first run and I was able to manage it, if it takes you 5, 6 times, that doesn't matter as long as you find your way and you find your path. I
Yeah.
was like, so I would tell them that, and we would talk about it, and I would, hoping, like, telling them that, like, hoping that they wouldn't, be like, all right, whatever. But majority of the time, like, they would really change. They would really come and talk to me. I had more than one person always coming and talk to me about their problems, always wanting to open up to me, and because they said every time they talked to me, they felt better because
Yeah.
I always knew what to say and stuff like that. So it just it was great. I don't know. It was something that I will never forget. It was a very rewarding job. Very rewarding job.
Yeah. Well then, so I'm glad you took a lot of pride in that, helping
Mhm.
others, being able to see people change their lives.
Mhm.
It's doing the work in the program, not just not work in the program, because
Yeah.
work in the program anybody can do, just to do it, but actually
Exactly.
doing the work
Mhm.
is what helps. Them knowing you for doing that, so leading by example, um, it's a good thing. It's a good thing they see that.
Mhm.
But also, I kind of figured, maybe one program, uh, not every program is for every person.
That's true too. Yeah.
Sometimes I guess they, from what I've been hearing and going through and stuff myself, you, you have to just find that right program for you that
Mm.
works for you.
Yeah. And a lot of the girls told me that. They said they've been through 5 different programs and they said they liked Hazelbrook. Hazelbrook, like, I love Hazelbrook. They taught me everything. Like, you guys do some things so much differently and this and that. And so I'm like, yeah, I was like, take everything that you learn to heart, learn it, read it, go to groups, go to meetings if meetings work for you, go to church if church works for you.
Not the
Find
church
Yeah,
downtown, but
yeah.
church.
Church, yeah.
Yeah.
Find something that works for you and that helps you get into it. And I told him it doesn't have to be a church that everyone wants you to go to. It can be a church that you want to go to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, and like telling them, and it's like, they're like, yeah, you're right. So I see a lot of them always like, hey Danny, I went to a meeting today, and they tell me all about their meetings. So I'm like, oh cool. Like, well, are you going to do they say the 90 whatever days or whatever. So a lot of them do that. A lot of the girls were doing that, going to a lot of meetings. But I always tell them, don't, like Chelsea always told me, don't put all your eggs in one basket. You know what I mean? Like, balance yourself out. Don't do so much at one time and, burn yourself out.
Yeah.
So, I always talk to them about boundaries, about, accountability and all that stuff. So it was good. It was good to show them, like, which direction to go. And they learned, sometimes I would tell them, sometimes they would do something completely different. Sometimes they would say they want to go to church, this and that, but sometimes they like meetings better. You know what I mean? So just never.
Just whatever suits them.
Yeah, that's why I always tell them, I'm here to support you wherever path you go.
Yeah.
If you end up relapsing, I would tell them, just come back, and you're not going to be judged, And so because I would tell them that, like, if you guys end up walking out that door, just know that door is always open for you to come back. So it would always, like, warm their heart to be like, thank you for always saying that, because we always think if something happens, we wouldn't be able to come back. Like, no, you can come back, depending on what that is, but you can come back.
So in Hazelbrook stays connected in the community,
Mm-hmm.
the sober community and stuff. They do a lot of certain events, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
Teach people how to do sober living, more like not just in the homes, but like activities, sober activities.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Not needing to drink and stuff like that.
Yes.
So
like the events and stuff.
yeah.
I know. Yeah, it's kind of hard now because we don't have the events and stuff. But I know a lot of people do find a lot of activities outside. They're always on the go. They're always doing something, and it's nice that they can find themselves to get out of the house.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
And
yeah.
what was their favorite? What was your favorite event?
Mine, I liked.
If you can remember.
I know, right? I'm like, um, I don't know. I liked a few of them. I like to go bowl. I like the bowling, but my most favorite one was oh my gosh, the main event.
Oh, the main event.
The main event.
The big old arcade.
Yeah.
Bowling and arcade and whatnot.
I just felt like a little kid. You know what I mean? I just felt like a kid all over again.
Yeah.
Being able to get on the games and just being able to play and just being able to just take that inner child of yourself and bring it out. So,
yeah, that's a pretty cool place. It's really big.
It is really big. I did the little climbing thing that they have that you have to wear like a vest and yeah. I did that a few times, so it was pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, hopefully this whole thing can get fixed to where you guys can start doing events, because I know it's pretty exciting for people. How it helps out.
It does help out because they do look forward to it. That's one thing when I was a house manager is they did look forward to going to the events because they were always asking, "What's the event today? What's this? What's the event today?" You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, um, I hope it gets back to the way it should. I think everything will
Eventually,
slowly
yeah.
start to come back together again.
Yeah, because I mean, it gives them hopes of doing something good, reconnecting with friends they made in the groups, right? In the
Hmm.
IOP and stuff like that. Sure. And
And just
it
everywhere in the whole community. You know what I mean?
yeah,
There's people I didn't even know that even came. I knew from the past. I'm like, oh, you're here. You know what I mean? So it's always nice to just see everybody. You know?
yeah. Make those reconnections
Hmm.
or even make new friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, but it's also relaxing because you spend all your time in group.
Hmm.
It's nice to get that. It's nice to refresh yourself with doing something else besides something
E-
repetitive as the groups.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Just getting out and just, relieving yourself from all the stress from Monday through Friday. You know what I mean? Going through all those, like you said, the groups and homework. Some girls would have homework and stuff. So
Yeah.
So they said it's like going to school. So every morning they'd be like, "Okay, see you after school." So it was always funny. So I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah, I mean, it's like the saying, all work and no play, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
So you definitely got to do that. You got to definitely have that free time, that fun time, um, just to go out and have fun, just to relieve all that off your mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not forget. That's why you take notes and stuff, right? When
Mhm.
you get paperwork,
Mhm. Yeah.
but just to relax.
Yes. Cuz you work 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 and you don't realize that you're not giving yourself any time to relax. You're not giving yourself that self time, and there's times I forget too. There's times I forget to even give myself, a few minutes just to breathe, because I'm going, 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 going. Gotta get home and I'm going, 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 going.
Yeah,
So it's like I go to sleep and I wake up and do it all over again. Like, and then next, like by Thursday, I'm like so tired and I'm just like, oh, well, I haven't even really took the time to just chill, or be like, or go and just go to the movies on the weekends or just do something to just get your mind away.
yeah,
So, yeah, it's hard.
definitely.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, I want to say thank you for coming on, telling your story,
Oh, thank you.
having a good conversation with me.
Yeah.
I usually see you around a lot, but I don't. We don't really talk as much in depth as this.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah.
So it was a good conversation. Glad you volunteered to do it.
Oh, thank you.
And to you out there, I hope you hit like, subscribe, keep listening, uh, get the help you need, or maybe you run into somebody you know and find a way to reconnect with them on here. All right. You all have a good day.
Bye.